Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I am Ogita Austin. I'm a member of the A15 Productions Company, and we're here today because we're shooting a documentary for the University of Nairobi Pharmacy School, hitting 50 years of service and excellence. And we are here to get your take on what has gone on for the past number of years that you've been together with them, and your intake is of importance of Kohapa to get what you think and what the information you have. Thank you so much for agreeing to this. You can kindly introduce yourself so that we start.
So my name is Dr. Paul Mwaniki. I've been in practice now. I'm a pharmacist and a graduate of University of Nairobi, graduated in 2001, having started in 1996. Yeah, so that's close to 24 years of practice post-graduation. Yeah.
Nice. You've already told us which years that you did your pharmacy training. Maybe, do you have any memories of the social, academic, what was undergraduate like for you?
Okay, first undergraduate, for us, the most exciting obvious was reporting to the university to start Bachelor of Pharmacy. In those days, there was only one university training pharmacy, University of Nairobi, and they're only admitting around 20-25 students. So to be admitted to, in the whole of all the people who did KCSE or for those years, I did my KCSE in 1994. So we are being admitted in 1996. In our time, we used to take 2 years before reporting to university. So reporting there, like you've been chosen from the entire country, the top 20, I think our class we were 21. It was very exciting. Actually, it was in those days and even today, it was a premier degree course and what many people wanted to do. So what used to lock most people from it was the qualification also. The cluster points were the highest in the entire university, in all over the country. Because I think that time we were doing 40, either you have 48 out of 48 or 47. Anything points, cluster points. Anything below that, no. So when we reported a bunch of 21 of us, we were really excited. We were feeling we were the top of the country and all that. And first year, especially first semester, not much learning has started. It's just introduction. So you're just enjoying being in the university. Until now, we started getting scheduled for the cuts. And then now, when the first cuts came, then we were thinking things are just going to be easy. We thought that actually, since we made it to university was just a place to come and hang around and pass and go. We didn't know that now here is when you have come to read. And there's one of our lecturers in first year who used to say, there are those of you who read to come to the university, and there are those of you who came to the university to read. So at first we were thinking we read to come to the university, so university was to relax. But later we were shown now you need to read, otherwise you might not make it. Sure. So that was the beginning of first year like that. Then we went through first year, second year. In those years there was a lot of political agitation, university strikes like that. So almost every semester we knew before it ends we'll have to go home after a strike. So strikes were very common. Like almost every month also there is one. Not all of them the university will be closed, but chances are at least within every semester the university will be closed, be given 15 minutes to clear from the hostels, you go home. That time we're in main campus. So, but at least they could close for 1-2 weeks, then we come back. And the good thing, the semesters were 2, each I think was 30, how many weeks? 16 weeks. Was it?
Right now it's about 16 weeks.
Yeah, 16 weeks, yes. 16 weeks. And so 2 of them, that's 32 weeks. So in a year of 52 weeks. So those strikes, we did not lose any academic year because there's none which we stayed on for more than a month. So we still ended up almost finishing every academic year within the academic year. But I just saw what, instead of, normally the semester is supposed to start from, I think it was starting 1st of September to 1st of September, yeah, to end around December. No, it used to around another September or there, or even due to, maybe it was even supposed to end earlier, but due to the strikes, could end it around September. Then you have October, November, December holidays.
Oh.
3 months.
Okay. Because for us it starts at around September, ends at around January, February. Then we start the next semester almost immediately. And then holidays from around June, July, August, apart from medical health sciences,
yes,
and engineering.
Yeah, so in the we went like that, first year, second year, third year, fourth, fifth. But I think for now, for the university, I don't know whether I've answered that question.
That is sufficiently answered, sir. Currently, you've been in community pharmacy for several years. Describe chronologically, if you may, the evolution of community pharmacy practice in the country.
The community pharmacy has really evolved. First of all, like even during, and just starting from the 90s, late 90s when we were in the university, because as when in university over those 3 months holidays, there are not very many pharmacists. So during the holidays, you could actually, I can tell you from after first year, finished first year, the 3 months holiday, actually I went to practice in a community pharmacy. Yeah, for 3 months. I got, yes, the first chemist I walked into in Nene, I asked to do locum. I was given a job, and it was a paid job. Yeah, so we started practicing early because there were no pharmacists. There were also, even the farm techs were not so many. So even like at that time, most of the pharmacies, I think in 90s, the pharmacists who had started theirs in 90s were not that many. The pharmacy, others were owned by businessmen, but at least they were employing pharmacists. Pharmacy are not now even pharmaceutical technologies, even students. I remember as early as when you're in the university, almost from 3rd year, 4th, 5th year, we actually used to work as pharmacists during after school, during the weekend, like that, without having even any pharmacist in the pharmacy. So you are allocated a rota like a qualified pharmacist. Yes, from 3rd year. We were actually in charge of the pharmacy students. So, and those who are aggressive enough to learn the dispensing and all that about pharmacology and at the practice level from 3rd year, because when you went to after the first year, when you went to the pharmacy, you still did not know much. But actually, so long as you're that interested, learn very fast. You could learn from first of all self-taught, or even from the other. Maybe if there's a pharmacist here, I will tell you. But within close to 2-3 weeks was enough for us to be formally actually run a pharmacy in dispense. Then it went to, even by the time we graduated, at that time, in our time in 90s, the salaries for most pharmacists after graduating used to, because of the numbers were low and there was a lot of demand in the market, they used to end up either in the industries, in GSK with multinationals, or very big NGOs like that, and big hospitals. So there was those demand of so a few could also end up in the community pharmacy. But me personally, I've been in community pharmacy, let's say even as a student, then even after graduated, and we've seen like in later in 2000s, later 2010 to right now, there's an increase in number of pharmacists who are in the community. The community practice mainly has a good percentage run by, it's still a small percentage run by pharmacists. Majority is still run by the pharmaceutical technologies. So most pharmacists, even like in community pharmacy, I'm one of the few pharmacists actually. I think in total, if we can be counted pharmacists in community pharmacy, I don't think we can reach even 500. Meaning, okay, if we include hospitals, then we can reach over. And if we include the hospital, meaning public hospital also, that's where majority of pharmacy now in public hospital. So the community pharmacy, the other major difference apart from practice is most of the pharmacies who are there, it's their own business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's their own business. There are very few pharmacists working in community or pharmacy whereby their employees there. It's their own businesses. Most of them started maybe 10, 15 years ago. Of late, you're seeing young farmers also coming into the sector, which is good. Yeah, but previously, because of the better, more soft landing opportunity in the industry, multinationals, very big hospitals, and distributors and all that, most pharmacies ended up there. Because to tell you the truth, running a business is not a cup of tea. It's not for everyone. Yeah.
For sure. So till date, do you think that the training you received at the university was adequate to prepare you for community pharmacy that you've been doing all these years?
Yeah. And I told you, right from first year, I already went straight to community pharmacy, and within just 2 weeks of orientation, I could easily fit in. So the training was, I can say it was quite good. Actually, if you check very well, the training of the University of Nairobi was more leaning towards community pharmacy than even industry. It was mainly community, leaning towards patient care. A lot of that than the real industry, manufacturing and all that. Yeah, so the training up to date, I think the curriculum is almost the same. It has changed over time. In fact, what we've been advocating, there's one time I did 2 years stint at the pharmaceutical manufacturing industry, and I saw there was a gap, and I even gave an idea I gave a feedback to the University of Nairobi that there need to be more enhanced training for industry, for pharmacy, for the industry, in collaboration with the industries, because it appears as if the training in the University of Nairobi was more leaning towards community hospital like that, and not much emphasis on industries.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's nice to hear that the University of Nairobi was providing quality education, at least in that line. In addition to community pharmacy practice, are there any other pharmacy practice sectors that you've been involved in over the years?
Yeah, I've done 2 years stint in the industry. I've done 2 years before I started my practice, which is now 14 years old. I was employed first in the community pharmacies, that's a retail sector. At one time I moved to one of the level 6. I worked in Mata Hospital for 2 years. And I worked in pharmaceutical industry manufacturing for 2 years. Those are the other places I've worked. So I've worked in those other 2 sectors, both industry, hospital. The only ones which I've never worked is the NGOs. I've not worked for the multinationals, apart from just the internship where I did in one of the multinational companies for the industry, which was manufacturing. Yeah.
What were some of your experiences in those other pharmaceutical sectors?
Number one, okay, the hospital is more of community pharmacy, because most of the work there is, the only difference in community in hospital is that the pharmacist mainly waits to receive prescriptions from the prescribers. So it is group, there are consultants there, there are doctors, there are nurses are like that. So you're working as a team and all that. So, and mainly the work of the pharmacy was very little we were doing on patient care. So as we were just maybe to look at the prescriptions and dispense as it is, sometimes maybe advise the doctors on prescribing patterns, or give feedback. Sometimes maybe they could get dosages wrong and all that. Then in the industry, mainly I did in the industry, there's the real manufacturing, quality assurance, there's a lab. In the industry there's everything up to there where you get the tablet, the capsules. Now it's all those processes are done there, from the raw materials coming in, being received, get quality of the raw materials, test it in the lab. Then now you take it through the manufacturing process and go through all those manufacturing steps. Then later the final product is still taken to the lab to check whether it complies with all that. So that one was also a good application of what we learned in the university. Mainly pharmaceutics is what mainly happens in the industry. So. Yeah. So, and also regulatory affairs, how to register medications with the regulator like that.
Yeah. Okay. Quite nice experiences. See, let us now. Uh, you now run a fully
Yes.
fledged hospital
Yes.
with this beautiful space here.
Mm.
We shoot some videos of it. What motivated you to take this unconventional leap, especially for pharmacists, in healthcare, and enlighten us on the challenges, the opportunities, and benefits of venturing into running your own hospital?
Okay. First of all, the 2 years experience at Mata Hospital is actually one of the key things I picked and gave me motivation to start my own. First, it's right now is a medical center, is a level 3 hospital. It's not, we don't do admission and all that. So it's mainly what maybe at the Mata will call just during the day. We don't admit. So that experience of 2 years working at that hospital really helped me. I liked it. Actually gave me some information how to run such a facility, and most of the information or the knowledge I just is from those many years I worked there. The other thing actually in this estate, which I've almost stayed in Kirelation now over 20 years. Over 20 years, I came here just after finishing internship as just working in any, and then I've grown now here in this place until initially I didn't have capital to start any business. So when I got some capital, actually the first thing was to start with a standalone community pharmacy, which I ran for like 1 year. So now what actually triggered me to think about of a hospital was that in that, when I started the community pharmacy, it was the first late night chemist in this estate. So people really liked it. But 2 incidences made me think actually there's a gap in having a hospital here. Number one day when we were just I was in the pharmacy, I'm the pharmacist, then we saw people coming, screaming, carrying somebody, and there was a lot of blood. That person was bleeding a lot, being brought to the pharmacy. Maybe a serious accident. So they said, daktari yako wapi, daktari yako wapi? Nikamwambia mimi ndio niko. Nikamwambia ndio mgonjwa. But now I told them that the kind of injuries and like that, there's very little we can do at the pharmacy. So just proceed to the nearest hospital. So we just had to turn them, and they could see the blood just flowing like a river going. So like, wow, it means there's no such a facility there. And in case of such an emergency, then people, for them to have run to a pharmacy, that means that's the nearest they thought they'll get a healthcare practitioner. And then there's one time someone had passed away in the house. So someone, he was a relative, the relative was a nurse working at the Kenyatta National Hospital. So he came at around 10 at night and asked to the pharmacy, said, someone who has passed away in the house, that just because I'm a relative, wanted an independent doctor to just go check and maybe tell the other relatives. And now that was a big challenge, because in our training we were never taught, at the pharmacy we were never taught how to confirm death. So at first I was not sure what to do. I had to call one of my friends who is a doctor to maybe tell me what to go check and all that. Then the good thing was I managed to get to one of my friends who was staying around. So I told him there's someone who has passed by. Me, I don't want to go. I don't think I'm even authorized to confirm death. But anyway, not death, even traffic police or even police confirm death. Yeah, it's only that I did not have the experience. But at first, that's the first time actually I went to continue together with the nurse and also that friend of mine. We went together. We were told, now you need to check. You light a light on the people to check how it is. Then you check the breathing. Then someone who is alive should be breathing, should see movement in the chest, and the people should be, when you shine the light, they should move. But if they're just static, then that person is dead. Yeah, and so now then I asked, also it means this services of a full-fledged hospital is lacking in the estate. And actually from those 2 experiences, that's when I saw that gap. And from the standalone pharmacy, I just looked for another premise, just across, which was bigger, and establish a medical center, whereby now we are now not only me as a pharmacist, I was employing, there was a doctor on site, a medical doctor, there was a nurse, we were doing labs, there was a laboratory technologist, nurse, laboratory technologist, pharmacist. That's mainly how it started. So now and we had apart from just having drugs there, now we have all other things to make sure as an emergency we can handle. So like here we handle all kinds of emergencies. If the same person whom when I had a stand-alone told them to take them to another hospital because of the bleeding, they land here, we'll not do that. We'll receive them, and within like 2, 3 or 4 minutes will stabilize because you stop the bleeding, we check what's happening. If they need suturing, we do suturing through local anesthesia. There's a doctor who does that, there's a nurse. We can do all kinds of labs, both all emergency labs and all that. So over time kept on adding services, adding how many tests we can do, and also then we started also other services like dental. We have a dental practice here. So if someone comes here wants to see a dentist, can see a dentist and can do dental procedures here. Physiotherapy, we do physiotherapy here. We have some consultants clinics. Now those are people who've done medicine, they've gone and done pediatrics, gynecology, like that. Right now those are running on appointment, but later is to upscale so that it's like daily clinics. In the long term is actually for it to be now a full-fledged hospital whereby we even have wards, admit. We'll have to maybe move or get bigger premises. Yeah,
that's really lovely and innovative also. You see a gap in the market, and definitely fill that gap.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. Summarize what you consider your key contributions in the advancement of pharmacy training and also practice.
Okay, my key contributions are actually, apart from my practice and sharing something like this, is that even in the pharmacy school, I was a Nairobi University Pharmacy Student Association chair in my time, so I've been in leadership. So later when I also became a pharmacist from 2011 all the way to 2017, I was the president of Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya.
Oh, nice.
Yes, for 6 years. Yeah, so I did, so using that position, and I actually wanted to go to that position because I saw there are some gaps which in the sector, whether in regulation, practice, training, which I needed to articulate. But now to articulate, you need a proper official platform. So when I became the PSK president, I've done a lot of contribution towards tightening the regulation of pharma sector. Because at that time I served 3 years as a board member of Pharmacy and Poison Board, and I was also the president of Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya. We did a lot of push to tighten the regulation. There was a lot of some resistance. Normally in governments, when you're bringing change, people don't like sudden change, especially in maybe what's called large systems. And like as in private sector, you see right now in my practice, if I just think and overnight and I get a very good idea, I just come and start implementing the following day. So sometimes in large systems, that one then it moves slowly, but we kept on articulating it, educating those people involved to see things in a different way. And really, in those, I can say in those 3 years of the Pharmacy and Poison Board as a board member, and the 6 years as a PSK president, regulation was really improved. Whereby I can tell you, when I started the hospital here, so sometimes even when we used to work in the community pharmacy, so even you as a pharmacist, we do not, our trust on what is called the quality of medicine in the country was not that high. So you used to, because you as a pharmacy or as a practitioner, your interest is the patient in front of you to get well. So you'll just do like in terms of ruling out which drug or antibiotic, you're almost like you can, from the source of manufacture, you can be sure of the quality. So there was a lot of trust on the innovator brands because they are coming from what's called strict regulated markets. But nowadays I tell people, even my doctors here, that the prescribing pattern here is by the generic name. So we don't sell particular brands because, and sometimes the doctors tell me, no, but me, I trust this brand. I tell them, let me tell you as a pharmacy and the work I did, I can, any product I have on the shelf here, I can tell you, it doesn't have to be, if it is cefuroxime, just do cefuroxime. I'll make sure the brand which is there, it might not be the innovator or any, I can pick from the market. I don't have to be worried whether it will work or not. So I have, because so I was doing the strict push for proper regulation was so that later, when I'm practicing, I can have that, I don't have that fear. And I don't have to choose particular brand. So that's about regulation. In training, the University of Nairobi, I gave a lot of feedback. There's a time we held even a consultative meeting between the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya and then the training institutions and the industry to bring them together. Because we were saying there was a gap there. Because according to me, it was like we want, when the pharmacist student, the training is happening, that sometimes even that training, if it is about pharmaceutics, can be done in an industry setup. Because maybe you first do the compounding in the pharmaceutics department, then now go proper to the industry where the real machine, where it's not, they are there to make, at the end of you see how a tablet is made and how it even goes to the market. So that's what we really try to bring in. I know it has not, I don't think it was not implemented effectively, but it's something I want to see it done. As the country gears to being a pharmaceutical manufacturing hub, and it's around the same time also, the PSK president. Now, I remember as our degree course was 5 years. So later, around, I think early 2000, we had just left. It was changed from 5 to 4. So what it is, it compressed. Instead of having this 3 months break we used to have, where we can go out there, practice and all that, that's the time also students can be sent out to go on attachment in the industry. It was so limited that the program was reduced to 3 semesters. The student is in class from January to December. So mainly doing theory. And I gave a feedback. I remember that time, the good thing at that time, the Professor Guantai, who was also my dean when I was a student, also now had come back also as a dean. So I told her this 4-year program is not good, because also I was, as a pharmacist in the practice, I was receiving interns. Interns, those people who have finished, the students who have finished, they've been sent out for internship. So on day 1, they land at the community pharmacy. It's the first time in a pharmacy. So almost the only thing they know is theory, and now they have graduated. Unlike us, because of the flexibility of the 3 months holiday, we do not have a formal attachment, but most of the opportunity for you to go practice, such that even in, and I've told you, from 3rd year, 4th year, we're in charge of big pharmacies in CBD as the only pharmacist. Yes, and we could practice. So by the time we're graduating, I can tell you a 4th year student in a school of pharmacy was as good as a pharmacist who was graduated and is maybe has 3 years experience. They were almost as good. 5th year was even, because so this tight program of 4 years of squeezing so that the student finish early, maybe 1 year early, was seen as an advantage, but personally I saw it as a disadvantage, because they are finishing, they only know theory, they have not been to any practice. And I gave that feedback, and I told the university, you need to revert back to the 5-year program. Those are 2 main things. I remember, at least I know I pushed and I've made a lot of impact in regulation, in training, in also just increasing the level of practice in the community sector for pharmacies like that. Sometimes I wonder why many pharmacies don't want to stay in the community sector, but I think mainly it's because of the attraction of more bigger money in the other sectors. Yes.
But you've done very interesting things then. You continually are more and more impressed by the things you've done.
Okay.
Yeah. What has I believe you've been in that pivotal place where technology was coming into the system as you were, I think after you were done with your school or during that period. So what did the advent of technology bring to the pharmaceutical sector?
Okay, I remember when we were around 2000, I think the first mobile phone telephone was it Airtel? Then it had another name. Was it Cancel? So it's Cancel. So I think 99 when we were in third year. Then now Safaricom came in. At that time, before then, people to communicate, people had pagers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether you know pagers. I don't know whether they still exist. I don't think so. The people had pagers. Pagers were, you could see them with the consultants and like that. I think a pager will just is to beep you where you are. Then I think it had a message, an SMS. You read maybe the doctor, the consultants will read like maybe you have a patient to see emergency, maybe in the ward, maybe wherever you are, even if you're in town. Yeah. That's only what you'll get. And I don't know whether there's a way you reply it. I never had to have one. So from pagers now there was the mobile phones. Airtel, Cancel came. They were more focused on the high-end market. Yeah. So the phones were expensive like that. Very few people had them. Then it came Safaricom when you're in fourth year. And that's the first time students started having phones, mobile phones. Yeah. I remember my first mobile phone I bought in 2000. And the other day Safaricom was celebrating they are celebrating this year 25 years. They started in 2000. And we had big phones, which almost like, okay, it's the size of current phone, but those days when it came the phones, the price was higher, the smaller the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The bigger the phone, the less expensive it was, because people are looking for, first when the pagers were slightly big gadget. When the phones came, they started with an even bigger phone. Then they started becoming smaller. So at least I remember we had there were no smartphones. Everyone had smartphones came far much later. I don't think smartphones came almost from 20. After 2009 there. So there are no smartphones there. So in 2000 we had students, a few students had phones. I remember in my class I was the first one to buy a mobile phone, and the reason is because I was working. So I was a student, but also at fourth year we were more like half working, half students. Sometimes even you needed to be very careful, because you could be carried away by the working and forget about studies. A few pharmacies fell into that trap. So, because sometimes you like, do I Skype class to go for local, or do I attend class? Yeah. So sometimes if you are not disciplined enough to balance, there are some people who got lost the other side. And then I even know someone who went that way and never completed university up to date. And later now I don't think even he has never gone back to complete. So we bought phone, and so it started. Okay, that's about the technology. So technology, and then internet came, smartphones came. It has really transformed like how community pharmacies run. For example, if those days we used to, as the pharmacy, we will be told one of the key requirements of you in the pharmacy to have a what is information material booklet, BNF, drug index, and all that. Nowadays, I don't think anyone keeps those because now there is artificial intelligence. You just you can get everything on Google, side effects of any drug, everything. So it has made practice easier. So sometimes even when sometimes we get emergencies, like we have never dealt with this emergency. The doctor asks me, which is the best drug for this? And if you have not dealt with an emergency, like, okay, it's this line of drug, but home into the most important, it's an emergency. So now you can get that information almost real time and say this one and this is the dosage, and we start administering the patient. Before maybe like you don't do trial and error with any, like let the patient we continue supporting breathing and all that as we check in the books which the best drug and what's the dosage and all that. Now you can get the dosage, the side effects, the contraindication almost at the touch of a button. So it has made the decision making very, very fast and easy. Yeah, that's what I can say about technology. I don't know. That's as far as community farmers, that's the major thing we are seeing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think you've already answered question 9 in how you're training and practice has impacted society so far, especially with the hospital and you being in PSK, having regulations and all that. Kindly comment on your national, regional, and international contribution and impact as an alumnus of the
University of Nairobi
in matters that also include leadership.
Okay. So personally, apart from being a pharmacist, let's say by character, I'm a leader. As I told you, my leadership started even as far as pharmacy is concerned in the University of Nairobi. I remember when I was in second year, I was elected the vice chair. As per the constitution then of NUPSA, the vice chair came from second year. So when I was second year, I was the vice chair of NUPSA, and later I became in the final year, in fourth year, became the chair. In high school, I was also in leadership position, but I've never been a prefect. But I really liked leading, like in clubs like that. And then now, when I graduated, going into the job market, started working. I was one of the few people few pharmacists in the early years when I was in 20s. I actually invited to be a member of parliament in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, it's known. Yeah, in 2007. So I started campaigning as early as 05, 06, 07. I used to move around, even talking to some elder pharmacists to support me and all that. There's one time at least, especially my classmates, we did a convoy to my constituency to help me campaign. The pharmaceutical sector gave me a lot of drugs for medical camp, did all that. But anyway, despite all that, I think I did not make it to be a member of parliament. But that one gave me a lot of experience about more about leadership, which I was in. I learned a lot about people, and you can only learn from that school. Many people don't know. If you want to learn about people, you just go to politics. Okay. You don't. After that, you don't. That's most politicians by there. Much as you see them talking on TV in parliament, you underrate them. But most politicians, the major advantage they have a lot of information about how people behave, how people think, how people react, and that's a major asset. So you wonder, this guy doesn't look so. He did not do, when I was a politician, people say this politician has he just reached standard 8. How has he been a member of parliament or something like that? But the kind of learning you get from that sector, me personally, I can say is one event or something I did which I never regret. And some people ask me, did you regret losing a lot of money? Because the elections, a lot of money. You spend a lot of resources and all. Did you regret losing a lot of money you did not win? I said no. The knowledge and experience I got from those 2-3 years I was campaigning is what actually has made me, even made me a better pharmacist. Because later I came, 2 years later, I was elected the president of Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, one of the youngest president ever to be elected. I was elected, I think, at the age of 35.
Oh, okay.
And I did my complete 2 terms up to 42. So by 42, I had retired. Yeah. I tell people, actually, when I finished my 2 terms of PSK, I told people personally what I wanted to do in politics I have done. I'm not going to go to the outside politics and all that. I want now to focus on very simple things, pharmacy practice, just recommend patients. So in the 6 years of the PSK president, I did a lot in terms of nationally. My main focus was quality of drugs, quality of pharmaceutical care, and because I knew I'm going to retire in that sector, especially in community, so I wanted assurance that I actually am working in a regulated environment. Because as business people or as entrepreneurs, you are more at an advantage in a regulated environment than unregulated. It's because if you're in regulated, it means entry. The entry of that environment by what's called unqualified people, or even easily by people who are not serious, is limited. And also in a regulated environment, if you do your focus on quality, if you focus on quality, outpatient outcomes and all that, then you can be assured of some daily bread. You may not be very rich, but assured daily bread. But the main thing is to see that a patient can come into this facility. Almost sometimes we get patients from the gate who are screaming, our person is dying, so and so is dying. Then they come inside here, and in 30 minutes the person who was being told is dying walks home. No, that one I always say, that is, I feel so good that I have a facility and I'm participating, bringing those kind of changes. In the leadership, I've served in other sectors, and okay, even on the president of PSK, in the, I served in a committee in the Ministry of Health, the one which coordinates what is called Global Fund. Global Fund is a fund which was put in place by various states for purposes of management of treatment of TB, malaria, and HIV. It has been there, I think, from 2003. Obviously, the U.S. government was a major funder. People now are worried whether those funds are going to reduce. So I actually sat in that committee, and I brought a lot of changes in how I thought it should be managed, especially to make sure the products and all commodities reach the final beneficiaries on time. So that's something I know I did, and most of that committee is what used to give feedback to the Global Fund headquarters on what things needs to be done, what implementation. So I never went to do presentation outside there, but I used to give my input there. Yeah, I've participated a lot in regional conferences about pharma sector in East Africa. I've been to Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, just talking about pharmacy and all that. Some of those are what we call, they may not be, in terms of regulation, but we are slightly ahead of them. So when we go there and give them input what we are doing here, they also copy. It has helped improve the pharma sector in the region. Yeah.
Thank you so much for those, because that's international impact, regional impact, national impact, definitely large. What is one thing that you would have wished to do? What is one thing you would have wished to do to impact pharmacy training and practice, but up until now you've not managed to do? Maybe you plan to do in future, but you've not managed to do yet.
I saw that question, then that's one question I don't have an answer, because I think personally I've done everything I wanted to do at any particular time. So there's nothing I can say, I wish I did this. The only thing I normally say that I wish I had capital to go into community practice or to entrepreneurship earlier than I did, which I did not have, because I almost took, from the time I graduated 01, I started my own practice in 2010. That's 9 years late, because at our time, capital was very limited, and the major setback actually was in premises, to get business premises. Business premises, they were only, first of all, they were only in CBD, and to get any business premises, and a pharmacy, you can't do it on 5th floor, on ground floor in CBD, unless you had a lot of inherited millions. There's no way young people could have penetrated, because to get us premises in CBD, Nairobi CBD, you need at least to just have almost 10 million. The 10 million is to give the gift to the owner of the building for having built that building 40 years ago. It's called goodwill. Like it's not part of rent. They used to say goodwill. So you give them a gift of 10 million. Then now you look for money to pay rent for at least the first 6 months. Now, for anyone to penetrate, you had to have a few millions, of which young people, unless you inherited that kind of money, we did not have. So over time, that's why when the estates, like here Kileleshwa, started opening up, could get a premises to put up a business and all that. And that's why even when I was actually wanted to start a pharmacy, I started from an extension of a building where I was actually residing there. Then one day I told the landlord, can I put up a pharmacy here? And the landlord was like, pharmacy here? Are you sure you're going to make money and pay my rent? Like, don't worry, I think I will. And then he told me, no, your rent has moved from 15,000 to 25,000. So I don't know whether it was a way of discouraging me, but me, I was so happy that he has accepted and he has not asked for goodwill. Because then that's how I could start. So you see, with that one, at least 25,000, so you're looking for rent. So with almost close to $500,000, I started. And then I've grown slowly like that.
What do you wish to be remembered for in the pharmacy practice sector? When someone says Dr. Paul Mwaniki, what do you want the memory to be?
First of all, my 7 years as the president of Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya, that is a lot of effort and work I put in the entire pharma sector. Almost is one of the 7 years of my life I'll remember for many years, and even in the pharma sector. The other day I was in the PSK office, and there's this board of showing former presidents of PSK, and it's written there, Dr. Paul Mwaniki, 2011 to 2017. And I was telling people, this is one thing which I did for 7 years, which no one can delete.
Sure.
And it goes on record, and a lot of impact on regulation. I've told you, pharmacy training, pharmacy practice, I articulated at that particular time. Nowadays, I always say I just want to just remain silent and benefit and practice just as a normal Kenyan. Now, actually, from the time I retired from PSK in when I was 42, I said, now I don't want leadership roles. I want to be led. Me, I want to be a participant, because you can't be always at the top. Also, be here, then you let other people do it. Some people say it was too early, but that's what me I had planned, and just so nowadays just do. My major interest is just how to empower maybe younger people to take up pharmacy, and also just continuous improvement patient care at the community or my facility level. Just that impact that every day I'm learning something new, I'm improving quality of care. Just I've told you, my major, when I feel so happy is when a patient who was almost in a dire condition walks home. And that time when they come, the patient came at that emergency, sometimes the relatives are asking, how much will it cost? Will you afford? I normally tell them, that's list of my problem now. My problem now is I'm focusing on this patient. The minute we sort their health issue, they are stable, they are out of danger, then we can discuss cost then. Whether you'll afford to pay or not, it's list of my worry. So when I tell my patients, the relatives, that sometimes they get shocked. Like, this guy is not worried, who will pay the bill? So sometimes we finish all that. And now at emergency level, we do so many things extra without having to ask about price and all that, just to be sure this is not the problem, this is not. It's a lot of ruling out within a very short time. So the labs are many. So sometimes later when you tell the patient now, after like 1 hour, the patient is okay, you tell the relative the cost maybe is like 30,000. They're like, what? What have you people have done? 30 minutes. So I saw mulimudunga tu dawa hii, mtoa damu kapima hii. Who will pay this money? They started making noise at then. I always tell them, you know, when you came, you are crying, your person is dying. I did not ask you for a coin. I focused on the person. That now is seated there smiling, going home. Even if you don't pay, I can allow people to go. Then they get shocked. They're like, okay, no, we have to go na ubaya, we have to pay discount. Yeah, so that's what me I'm focusing on, and maybe something like just reviewing back the years, what we've done, encouraging the young farmers, students, how to come up. We, as in the community sector, and especially entrepreneurship, we want to see a lot of, we have few of us. Many people fear entrepreneurship because it is hard. Everyone is looking for the easy one. Because you don't come to entrepreneurship if you want quick riches. They are not there. So it's if you are looking at it long term, like, where do you want your business to be in 40 years? If you look at that, you'll, even if you're not making money today, in those 30, 40 years, you'll have some money. But if some people want millions today, they are not in community pharmacy. If you want millions overnight, I can tell you, don't come. If you want to just enjoy life, just go get a job somewhere. You're sure that there's a salary at the end of the month. Yeah, as the month approaches, we are more worried whether we have money to pay salaries. As the end month comes, the entrepreneur is more stressed than being happy, while the employee is just counting 3 more days money to hit my bank account.
For sure. Thank you so much. As an entrepreneur also, with this small enterprise, that's really beautiful advice, at least from your personal Sanji. Now, you've seen how the University of Nairobi has evolved in training and the alumni in practice. What is your vision for pharmacy, the pharmacy sector in the country for the next 50 years?
For the next 50 years is that, number one, we are still doing almost, I think, over 70% of products are still imported. Is to see now, and 30% now what is locally manufactured. Mainly the shortages there is capital. Investing in a factory is not that cheap. The capital, not very many people have that kind of capital, that the government can make it conducive for people to access such level of capital with some what is called credit breaks or periods to be able to, for the industry to set up and for it to break even, for something like that is what is like, and that's a major entrance towards that. So I want to see that the 70-30 being the other way around, reversed to 70% locally manufactured, maybe 30% import. That's what I want to see between now and the next 50 years. Meaning the country will have, by the time you are actually doing 70% of your local manufactured drugs, that's pharmaceutical manufacturing, is a country which has almost industrialized.
Yeah.
So we, as the technology is there, the expertise is there, and all that, and there's availability of capital to actually put up a world-class recognized pharmaceutical manufacturing, where products coming from that can be almost okay, they are assured of to be high quality by many other countries, even for export. It requires a lot of money. Yeah, I hope we'll get there, whereby even you'll see a lot of even locally, I mean, the pharmacists setting up theirs. Yes.
Thank you so much. What about your vision for community pharmacy in the next 50?
The next 50 years, community pharmacy is going to be somehow the issue of just staying behind the counter and selling drugs like a shopkeeper. I think that one soon is going to be almost overtaken by events. The pharmacists in the community pharmacy must be offering a service. The product is just a tool for when offering the service. For example, and also working with other healthcare providers. You see, when you're alone, there as a pharmacy, you see, even me, I described when I was operating a standalone pharmacy, I had limitations of tools in managing healthcare. So we find at the community level, you can only, what you manage is what is called mild conditions. But if you want to manage, to be involved in managing of more complex conditions, have bigger impact, then you have the healthcare, you have to work as a team. That's why if you can, most people can start thinking of, instead of just having a standalone pharmacy, why can't you now think of like the medical center, where you bring in the other healthcare professionals like that, and such that now you practice community pharmacy with there, and then you don't have to just be limited to some managing coughs, colds, mild pains, and all. Anyone who with serious pain will know, they don't go to a community pharmacy. They actually walk into a medical center. Because at the medical center, the management of conditions, first on emergency cases or critical conditions of very sick people, is through administration of drugs through the IM and IV route. By the time someone is so sick, some of them you can't even swallow. So now you are limited like that. So that's what I want to see community pharmacy get into, being comprehensive care. There's a pharmacy there that together with the other healthcare professionals. So first of all, it brings better impact on outcomes on the society. Instead of people saying, oh yes, there's a pharmacy. When you go there, the pharmacy only has drugs. And also, there's some practice the pharmacy is not trained in. So he can't even inject me any injection. So now I have to go look for a hospital which is far. What if that pharmacy just brought in the other professionals in? And then they work together. You'll have better impact. And the growth and the revenue, even in the business, is more towards that side.
That's a beautiful vision, at least. If that comes to pass, then the country will be so in a pretty place. Now, the last, not question, but the prompt is for you to congratulate your fellow alumni at the University of Nairobi Pharmacy School
for the 50 years.
Achieving 50 years.
First of all, I want to congratulate the University of Nairobi for achieving 50 years. That's called the Golden Jubilee. Golden Jubilee. Actually, they're celebrating 50 years. We had to do it actually last year. Celebrate 50 years. End of this year, even me, I'll be at 50. I'll be 50 years.
Yeah.
So we're almost doing it the same year. And December, I'll be 50 years. So University of Nairobi, we are like celebrating the same mileage. Mine is, for obvious, from the time I was born. It means it's around the same year the faculty was being started. And then having been there in the 90s, so far, almost, I think when the university was almost celebrating the 25 years, is it the Silver Jubilee? That's when I was there as a student. And now it's a major milestone for the university. We just want, as alumni and all other stakeholders, how we can empower the university, give back, both in knowledge, ideas, technology, funds, to make sure just the training of pharmacy can continuously improve, and our now children, because now may soon my children will be the students there, can actually enjoy better services than, and with the obvious with the modern technology which is there today.
Thank you so much, Dr. for your input and your taking your time to just answer these questions and empower someone who's going to want to do pharmacy or is doing pharmacy to see that there's a future, at least in community pharmacy health and in pharmacy at large. So thank you so much for this, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.